The Witch's Apprentice, a tale of love and dark magic. There was a young girl named Ella who lived in a small village. She was like any other girl, or so it seemed. But Ella had a secret. She was not just a normal girl. She was learning magic from a powerful witch who lived deep in the dark forest. The witch was old and mysterious. Some people said she was immortal, living forever. She knew many things, dark and strange things. Ella was her apprentice, learning the ways of magic. But Ella had to be careful. No one could know she was learning magic, or they might think she was evil. Every day, Ella went to the witch's house. She learned to mix potions, cast spells, and talk to spirits. She wanted to be powerful, like the witch, but she also wanted to keep her secrets safe. One day, while walking home from the witch's house, Ella met a young warrior. His name was Marcus, and he was brave and strong. He was curious about Ella, always asking her questions. He noticed she often disappeared into the forest and wanted to know why. Ella liked Marcus, but she was scared. If he found out about her secret, she could be in danger. So she smiled and tried to act normal, hoping he would stop asking questions. But deep inside, she knew that keeping her secret would not be easy. Marcus started to watch Ella more closely. He noticed that every day she went into the dark forest alone. He thought it was strange because no one else went there. The forest was a scary place, full of shadows and strange noises. People said it was haunted. One evening, Marcus decided to follow Ella. He wanted to know where she was going. He was careful, staying far behind her so she wouldn't see him. As he followed her, he saw her walk deeper and deeper into the forest. The trees were thick, and the path was dark. Ella didn't know Marcus was following her. She was thinking about her lessons with the witch. Today, the witch had taught her a new spell, and she was excited to try it. But as she walked, she felt like someone was watching her. She turned around, but there was no one there. Still, she felt uneasy. Marcus saw Ella stop and look around. He quickly hid behind a tree, hoping she wouldn't see him. When Ella started walking again, Marcus kept following. He was getting closer to discovering her secret, and he was determined to find out the truth. Finally, Ella reached the witch's house. Marcus watched from behind a bush as Ella knocked on the door. The door opened, and the old witch appeared. Marcus couldn't believe what he was seeing. Ella was talking to the witch. He knew then that Ella was hiding something very important, something dangerous. Marcus decided he had to find out more. He would keep following Ella until he knew her secret, but Ella was smart, and she could sense danger. She knew someone was getting closer to discovering the truth, and she was starting to get scared. Ella started to worry. She felt like someone was watching her, following her every move. She knew she had to be more careful. If anyone found out she was learning magic, it could be very dangerous for her. The next day, when Ella went to the forest, she took a different path. She walked through the trees quietly, trying to make sure no one was following her. She looked back many times, but she didn't see anyone. Still, she felt uneasy. Marcus was still watching her, but he noticed that Ella was being more careful. She was trying to hide where she was going. Marcus decided to be even more careful too. He didn't want Ella to know he was following her. He stayed far behind, hiding in the shadows. When Ella reached the witch's house, she quickly went inside. She told the witch about her worries. "I think someone is following me," she said. The witch looked at her with sharp eyes and nodded. "You must be careful," the witch warned. "If they find out about us, it will be bad." Ella knew the witch was right. She had to be smarter. She started using magic to cover her tracks. She used a spell to make her footprints disappear, and another spell to make the trees hide her. But even with magic, She couldn't shake the feeling that someone was close, very close to discovering her secret. Marcus noticed that it was getting harder to follow Ella. She was good at hiding her tracks, but he was determined. He wouldn't give up. He was getting closer and closer to finding out what Ella was doing in the forest. Ella knew she was running out of time. She had to keep her secret safe, no matter what. The witch knew that someone was following Ella. She decided it was time to set a trap. "We must catch the one who is hunting you," the witch told Ella. "We will make them show themselves." Ella was scared but agreed. The witch gave her a special potion. "Put this on the ground where you think the person is hiding," the witch said. "It will make them fall asleep. Then we will know who it is." The next day, Ella went to the forest like usual. She walked to the witch's house, but this time she was not alone. She carried the potion in a small bottle, hidden in her hand. She tried to act normal, but her heart was beating fast. She knew the trap was dangerous. Marcus was still following her, but he didn't know about the trap. He was hiding behind a big tree, watching Ella. When Ella reached a certain spot, she stopped. She pretended to tie her shoe, but really, she was pouring the potion on the ground. Then she kept walking, just like nothing happened. Marcus waited for Ella to move farther away, then he started to follow again. But when he stepped on the spot where Ella poured the potion, he felt very sleepy. He tried to stay awake, but his eyes closed, and he fell to the ground, fast asleep. Ella didn't know if the trap had worked, but when she reached the witch's house, she told the witch what she had done. The witch nodded. "Now we wait," she said. "If the person is caught, we will know soon." That night, Ella couldn't sleep. She was too nervous, thinking about what might happen. She knew the trap had been set, but she didn't know if it had caught Marcus. She didn't even know if she wanted it to work. But the witch was right. Whoever was following her had to be stopped. The net was tightening around her, and soon the truth would come out. The next morning, Marcus woke up in the forest. He felt strange, like he had been asleep for a long time. He remembered following Ella, but couldn't remember what happened after that. He knew something was wrong. "She must know I'm following her," he thought. "I have to be more careful." Marcus decided to change his plan. Instead of following Ella, he started asking people in the village about her. He asked if anyone had seen her doing strange things. Some people told him they had seen Ella talking to the witch. Others said she went into the forest every day. Marcus began to put the pieces together. Ella noticed that Marcus wasn't following her anymore, but she wasn't safe yet. She heard people in the village whispering about her. They looked at her with suspicious eyes. Ella realized that Marcus was trying to find out her secret by talking to others. She knew she had to do something, or her secret would be exposed. Ella decided to use her magic to stop Marcus. She went to the witch and asked for help. The witch gave her a spell that would confuse Marcus and make him doubt what he knew. "This will make him forget," the witch said, "but be careful. If he fights the spell, it might not work." Ella used the spell on Marcus the next time she saw him. She spoke strange words and waved her hand in a secret way. At first, it seemed to work. Marcus looked confused, like he didn't remember why he was suspicious of Ella. But then Marcus shook his head and stared at her. "What are you doing to me?" he asked, his voice full of anger. The spell hadn't worked completely. Marcus was still suspicious, and now he knew Ella was hiding something. Ella tried to smile and act innocent, but she knew she had made a mistake. The net was tightening, and Marcus was closer than ever to discovering her secret. She was running out of options, and the danger was growing every day. Just when Ella thought things couldn't get worse, a new person came to the village. It was a woman, tall and mysterious, with a hood over her face. No one knew where she came from, but she seemed to know things. She asked a lot of questions, especially about the witch and Ella. The villagers were scared of the new woman. They whispered that she might be another witch, even more powerful than the one in the forest. Some people said she was there to challenge the old witch. Others thought she was there to help her. But no one knew for sure. Ella noticed the woman too. She felt a strange energy when the woman was near, like something powerful and dangerous. Ella didn't know if she could trust her. The woman seemed to be watching everything, even the smallest details. One day, the woman came to Ella when she was alone. "I know what you are," the woman said quietly. Ella's heart raced. She didn't know what to say. The woman smiled. "You're the witch's apprentice, aren't you?" Ella nodded, too afraid to lie. The woman's smile grew wider. "I'm here to help you," she said, "but you must listen carefully. There are things you don't know, things the old witch hasn't told you." Ella was confused and scared. Who was this woman? Could she really help? The woman continued, "The warrior, Marcus, is getting closer to your secret, but there's another secret, one that the witch is keeping from you. If you want to survive, you need to find out what it is." Ella didn't know what to think. The woman's words were like a puzzle, full of mystery. But she knew one thing for sure. Nothing was as it seemed. The rules of the game had changed, and Ella was caught in the middle. The net was tightening, but now, with this new twist, she didn't know who she could trust. Ella knew the time had come. She couldn't hide anymore. Marcus was getting too close to the truth, and the mysterious woman's warning was still fresh in her mind. She had to face the danger, even if it scared her. That night, Ella went to the witch's house. She was determined to find out the secret the witch was hiding. When she arrived, the witch was waiting for her, as if she knew what Ella was thinking. "You've been listening to others," the witch said, her voice cold. "You've let doubt into your heart." Ella took a deep breath. "I want to know the truth," she said. "What are you hiding from me?" Before the witch could answer, the door burst open. Marcus stood there, sword in hand, ready to fight. "I know what you are," he shouted. "You're a witch, and you've been teaching Ella dark magic." The witch's eyes narrowed. She raised her hand, and the room filled with a dark mist. "You think you can challenge me?" the witch hissed. "You are nothing but a foolish boy." Ella stood between them, her heart pounding. She didn't want Marcus to get hurt, but she was also afraid of the witch's power. She knew this was the moment of truth. Everything she had learned would be tested. Marcus charged at the witch, but she was too quick. With a wave of her hand, she sent him flying across the room. He crashed into the wall and fell to the floor, groaning in pain. The witch turned to Ella. "This is what happens to those who betray me," she said, her voice full of anger. But Ella didn't move. She knew she had to make a choice. She could join the witch and become powerful, or she could save Marcus and risk everything. The confrontation was here, and there was no turning back. Ella's heart was heavy. She knew she had to make a choice, and it wouldn't be easy. The witch was powerful, and Marcus was hurt. If she didn't do something, Marcus might not survive. The witch looked at Ella, her eyes cold and sharp. "Choose Ella," she said. "Stay with me and gain power, or save this foolish boy and lose everything." Ella felt tears in her eyes. She didn't want to lose Marcus, but she also knew the witch wouldn't let them go easily. She thought about all the magic she had learned, all the power she had wanted, but now none of it seemed to matter. Slowly, Ella turned to the witch. "I choose to save Marcus," she said, her voice shaking but firm. The witch's eyes widened in surprise and anger. "You would give up everything for him?" she asked. Ella nodded. "Yes, I would," she said, her voice steady now. She knew what she had to do. She took a deep breath and began to chant a spell, one that the witch had taught her, but warned her never to use. As Ella chanted, a bright light filled the room. The witch screamed in anger, realizing what Ella was doing. The spell would take away the witch's power, but it would also take away Ella's magic. It was the only way to save Marcus. The light grew brighter, and Ella felt the magic leaving her. It was painful, like losing a part of herself. But she kept chanting. The witch tried to stop her, but it was too late. The spell was complete. With a final scream, the witch's power vanished. She fell to the floor, weak and defeated. Ella collapsed next to her, feeling the loss of her magic like a deep wound, but Marcus was safe. She had saved him, even though it cost her everything. Marcus crawled over to Ella, holding her in his arms. "Why did you do it?" he asked, his voice full of pain. Ella smiled weakly. "Because I care about you," she said. "Some things are more important than power." Ella had made the sacrifice, and now she and Marcus were free. But the cost was high, and the future was uncertain. All she knew was that she had made the right choice, even if it meant losing everything she had worked for. Ella and Marcus left the witch's house, holding each other up. They were both weak, but they were alive. The forest was dark and quiet as they walked back to the village. Ella could feel the emptiness inside her, where her magic used to be. It was strange and sad, but she knew she had made the right choice. When they reached the edge of the forest, Marcus stopped and looked at Ella. "What will we do now?" he asked softly. Ella shook her head. "I don't know," she said. "I don't have my magic anymore. Everything is different." Marcus nodded. "But we have each other," he said, trying to smile. Ella smiled back, but her heart was still heavy. She knew their journey wasn't over. The witch was gone, but the mysterious woman's words still echoed in her mind. "There's another secret," the woman had said. What did she mean? Was there still danger waiting for them? As they walked into the village, people looked at them with curious eyes. They whispered and pointed, but Ella and Marcus didn't stop. They were tired and needed rest. But as they reached Ella's home, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still wrong. The woman had disappeared, but her presence lingered in Ella's thoughts. What if the witch wasn't the only danger? What if the mysterious woman had her own plans? Ella didn't know, and that scared her. They sat down together, holding hands. The night was quiet, but Ella's mind was full of questions. What would happen next? Could they ever truly be safe? The answers were unclear, and the future was uncertain. As Ella looked out into the darkness, she wondered if this was really the end, or just the beginning of a new kind of danger. The night was quiet, but the shadows seemed to whisper, leaving Ella and Marcus with the uneasy feeling that their story was far from over.